Right. Can everyone see that? Everyone see it? Good. Fabulous. Okay. So remember, any point along this tonight, if anyone has any questions, unmute yourself and ask. This is meant to be, you know, if you've got any questions, anything you're not sure of, anything you want to clarify or bring up, feel free. I want this to be as interactive as possible. So last week we talked about headlines, and I still maintain when you write any kind of copy, whether it be an article for a blog post, an article to put in LinkedIn, whether it's a post, whatever it may be, 80% of what you write is down to your headline. But once you get past the headline, there's other things that you've got to think about. And I've been taking a look around, and I've been looking at what people have been posting today, and I've copied a couple today. This is a post that went up a couple of days ago, and I've blanked out the name and the image of the person who did it on purpose. You may know who it is, you may not. I'm not here to criticize the person who put this up, because the person who put it up is trying to do something, and anyone who tries to do anything gets my, you know, I'll take my hat off to any of them, but we need to try and make it better. But this, if you look at this, I've got a question when you look at it. So what this post says is, one of my aims is to get people financially fitter, or it says financial fitter, and show them ways to get themselves financial fitter, making your money go further. And you have to click and open it together. Now here's my point. When you look at this, right at that point, if I were not connected to 𝗀𝗵𝗆, I would look right past that anyway. The images that he's put into it, you can see a screenshot from one of the Wednesday webinars, and then the bottom bit is actually the early part of last year, before 𝗀𝗵𝗆 rebranded. We were known as Wealth Generators. Some of you guys weren't around then, but we were known as Wealth Generators, and this Find, Grow, Keep was part of the Wealth Generators website. So he sort of hacked some things about to try to make a point. Now, I understand the point that he's trying to make, and you guys understand the point that he's trying to make, but no one else does. And it's evidenced by this. Look down here and you can see one person has loved it. That's the person who put the post up. One person has liked it, and it's had 2 comments. And if we look at the time when this went up 2 days ago at 8:30 at night. And I took this screenshot about 2 hours ago. So in the best part of 2 days, 2 people have liked it. One was the person who actually set it up himself, and the other person is someone else who's connected to the business. That post isn't helping anybody's business. It's not helping the person who put it up. So this is someone else who was in the team, and I haven't got the faintest idea what that is meant to say. I thought for a second when I looked at it, this says your diet is not only what you eat, it's also what you watch, what you listen to, what you read, the people that you hang out with, and the things that you subject your mind and soul to. Always be mindful of the things that you put into your body, mentally, emotionally, physically, and of course spiritually. Ask yourself a simple question. Is what I'm about to do going to add or take away from my life? I understand what he's driving at there, but what am I meant to do about it? Am I meant to take action on it? It doesn't mean anything. Now, this only went up 5 hours earlier, and in the space of 5 hours, 12 people have liked it. So yes, it's a nice, inspiring little thing, but it's not doing anything to advance the business. And this is what I want. These sessions right now, I want them to be about more than anything else. I want them to be about advancing your business. Because so far, so many people are putting up inspiring quotes and this, that, and the other, and it's lovely, and it makes us all feel nice and warm and cuddly about it. But the only people that are liking it are other people in the business, and you're not actually making any progress with it. Let's concentrate on doing something that's going to do something to make your business move on. So that said, One thing that we need to understand is we have to give people a reason to contact us, and copywriting is going to help to give people a reason to contact you. So I've got a question for you. Tell me first of all, and I want to actually hear feedback from you. Tell me if this sounds familiar to any of you. You've chosen a product that you know works. You've got testimonials that prove your point perfectly. You've written your article, your post, you've checked all your facts. Everything is spot on it. You've posted it all over Facebook. You've asked your friends to like it. You've asked people in people that you know, everyone to give you a boost, and then nothing happens. Absolutely nothing. How many people have had that happen? Yep. Okay. And then, make it a bit worse, you see other people that seem to be killing it with some really crappy offers. Things that just look like a scam, flat out, they look like a scam. They're horribly written, they're badly spelt, the pictures are awful, but there's loads of people saying, tell me how, or send me info. Your cleverly written, beautifully prepared, everything else isn't doing anything. How many people have had that and seen that?
Mm-hmm.
So what is it that they know that you don't know? That's what we want to get to right now. So let me show you a little secret. This is a secret that, and I've got it on my screen for you, so you've got it all there. But literally, if you apply it, this secret, when you know it, can completely transform everything that you do in marketing, and it works every single time. I've applied this for years. So tonight, we'll turn you into the experts, and we're going to literally make you my protege, so you'll know this trick that works for absolutely everything. Does everyone want to hear that?
Absolutely.
Okay, this is, and when I say everything, I mean absolutely everything. This will work. It'll help you to write posts on Facebook that will get read. It's going to help you to write emails that people will open and actually read and act on. It'll help you to write Facebook ads that people click on, and it'll help you to write articles that get shared around social media and get you more interactivity. And when you understand what it is, you'll see, looking at other people's posts, that they're doing what I've just described. Does that sound something that everyone wants to know about?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get into really what it is and find out what it is that you need to do if you want to get them to read your articles. The first thing that you need to do is you need to put yourself in their shoes. Now, bear in mind what I said last week. We're talking about trying to recruit other network marketers and bring them into a business. We're aiming for network marketers for a good reason. We're aiming for them because we want to talk to people who aren't going to be saying to us, is it one of those pyramid scams or anything else? We want people who believe in network marketing but are struggling with the company that they're with. And they're looking for the right opportunity for themselves. So here's what we need to do. We need to be able to spell out their problem for them and let them know that you really, really understand what their problem is and what it is they're going through. And I put on there that you understand it in long and painful detail. And I mean really go into it and get it right. You've got to get, this bit is critically important when you explain it to people. This is where you let people know that you're just like them. You've sat in their shoes, you've had the problem that they've got, and you know what it's like. And when you do it, when we're looking for other networkers like that, particularly networkers, you and I, we all speak the same language as them. So you use it in terms that they understand. Yeah, and you highlight their problem because they're talking about looking for prospects, looking for distributors, looking to build a team. It's language they understand. So once you've actually found what their pain point is, there's another step that you need to go to then. And as a copywriter, with my copywriter's head on it, we call it agitation. It's time to really, really twist the knife and make it hurt for them. And there's a reason for it. I want to ram home the fact that there's a problem, and I want them to think about it as being something that relates to them. So I want to show you an example of how you write just like that. Okay? Tell me if this sounds familiar to you. You've chosen a product that you know that works. You've got testimonials that prove your point perfectly. You've written your article, post, check your facts, your spelling, it's right. This sounds very, very familiar, doesn't it? Because I had this slide about 2-3 minutes ago. The whole point is that that point, that page, does exactly what I've just told you about letting people know that you've been where they are. Because I've been through all of those problems as well. Because I do the same thing as you guys do on a regular basis. But literally spelling it out like that in bullet points and let them know what's going on in their head and let them know that you know it from experience. You put themselves in their shoes. So you spell it out the same way as I did. And then, just to make it a bit worse, you agitate it. So that's the agitation. You see other people seeming to be killing it, and you do. You guys know that you've seen it. We've all been in the same MLM groups on Facebook where you see people you look at the stuff that they put up and you think, why are people responding to that? I don't understand why people are responding to that when they're not responding to mine. Because that looks like a scam. Mine's legit. Why aren't people responding to it? The reason is because these guys know how to tell a story. And now we're going to get into it. So let's go back to the formula of what it is, the formula that you can use that's going to take this further on. So here's a quick recap. First step in the formula is that you tell them in language that they use, the same language that you use because you're a networker and they're a networker. You tell them that you know their pain. You know the problem that they have. And make sure that it's spelled out in something that's really, really simple and unambiguous terms. Then agitate that pain by letting them know that there's other people that are doing better than they are, even though they're not better than they are, but there's still people that are doing better than they are, because they know it's true. They know there are other people that are out there doing better, and they do want to improve. We're going to show them how to improve now. So now you've got them hurting even more. And the reason I want to do that with people is I want them ready to take some action on it just by the time we move into the next step, because the next step is to become their hero. You're going to give them a solution, and you're not just going to give them any old solution. You're going to give them the only solution that they ever want to know. It's a solution that absolutely everyone wants, and this is the one that's going to work. And if you remember, when I was talking to you before, I said, let me tell you a secret. And I said, the secret is, this is it. That's the solution. And again, I went through all of it before. So I applied the same formula when I wrote this presentation for you. And it will apply not just for a PowerPoint presentation, but everything else that we talked about before. I wanted to use this bit as an example to show you, just to show precisely how it happened, because I actually used that formula as I was talking to you in the first instance. So the formula itself comes in 3 words: problem, agitation, and solution. Those are the things that you need to remember. When you start to write an article or write a post, you can pick any, well, let's first decide what you want to do. If you're talking about recruiting distributors, yeah, then the problem is not enough people are actually responding to me, whatever it may be. Pick a problem that you know you can solve somehow or other. And what we really want to do is we want to get people to look at our business. So as far as we're concerned right now, we may be talking to people about a product. We may want to talk to people about making money from home. And if we want to talk to people about making money from home, we know right now that we've got a Forex system that is working for people. When it comes to the the Telegram alerts right now, we're starting to get some proper results from the Telegram alerts for people who've got time and patience to put into it. And I think all of you guys know that my opinion is I don't particularly do Forex because my time is spent focusing on trying to build the team and recruit the team. And as far as I'm concerned, here's my thoughts in a nutshell. Forex is about making money today, and building a team is about making money for the rest of your life. And that's what's important to me, and that's what turns me on right now. I'm fortunate in as much that some of the things that I've done in the past mean that I've got money for today, and I don't have to worry about where the bills are for next week, yeah, or for next month. But I am thinking in terms of me getting to the point where I want to retire in another 5 or 6 years, and this time I want to go back to that sunny island, and I just want to stay there this time round. And I've got to think about money for the rest of my life. So when you're looking to talk about products like Forex is about money for today, but when you're talking about products for the rest of your life, then that's really the rest of your life. Crypto can take care of the rest of your life. Building a team can take care of the rest of your life. Pick whatever products or issue you want to market, one market, building a team, whether you market crypto, whether you market Forex, pick one. Then look at what problem that product solves and highlight that product, not that problem. And when you know that you've highlighted it, then you sort of twist it in and say that there are other people that are making fortunes. The agitation of the problem with Forex, so you can turn around, you can say people have tried Forex in the past and they've struggled with it and they've not been able to understand the charts and they've not been where they've maybe gone with other brokers and just taken the money from them. And yet the agitation is that people like Jonathan Rutherford comes in and within 2 weeks he's making $500 a day. And he hasn't got the faintest idea what it is, what he's doing, how can you do that? And then you present a solution and actually move into talking about our product as doing that. That's how that formula is going to work for you. So I will give you something that was just really simple. Yeah? And again, I'll print this out off as a PDF, send it through to you all as a sensitive headline. But if you put this together with headline formula from Link, and then write your copy of this, you will find your ads will have a world of a lift. But I want to cover a few little quick tips that are more relevant to what we're doing right now. And these quick little tips are just going to help you with it when it comes to just getting your message across. The first thing that I find is that I see people writing about features. People write about the fact that we have Forex alerts that are provided by expert traders and we have live webinars. They're all features. Now, you guys by now, most of you know my background. I have my background's in car sales, and I've been a salesman all my working life. And as a salesman, I've always been taught about the difference between features and benefits. Customers do not buy features. People just aren't interested in features. When you turn around and say to someone, we get alerts from expert Forex traders, people go, so what? When you turn around and say to someone, we have expert Forex traders who send us alerts that if you take action on those alerts when they come in and literally take action on them within minutes, that same day you can make $20, $50, $100, $200, $500 on a daily basis by taking action on those alerts. That's a benefit. That's money in their pocket and they can see that. The feature is the alerts, the benefit is the money in their pockets. You need to look at whatever it is you want to talk about and write about and just distinguish, are you writing about what it is and what it does? Because what it is and what it does, they don't want to know about. What it means to them is the keywords. And the best link into it is you can start off by writing about what it does, as long as you tag in what that means is, and then tell them all about the benefits. The benefits will lift everything you write radically. So always, 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 when you write this stuff, write as if you're talking to a friend. I see so many posts that are out there and it's so stiff and so formal. And it's like people are writing to solicitors and lawyers. They use words that they never speak like that. If you want to write anything, any kind of post that will get people's attention and imagination, write it as if it's the way you speak. If you look at Facebook right now and you look at what people share, and you forget about businesses, just look at the stuff they share on a personal basis. People write, you know, they write, OMG, just seen this, and it's very almost lazy English, it's casual English, it's slang, it's the way they normally speak. Yeah. But the minute people start to write a post that's trying to sell something, everyone tries to write it stiffly, formally, properly. You know, they don't say do not, they say don't, or rather they normally say don't, but now they type do not. They'd normally say didn't, and now they'll say do not, did not, and they don't use contractions, anything else. Write the way you talk. When you read it back, when you write it, and I never actually type stuff directly into Facebook. I type stuff into either my word processor, or I type it into text or whatever. And then when I finish reading it, typing it, I then look back and I check the spelling before I put it, but I read it back to myself. If it doesn't sound like you when you read it, change it until it does sound like you. And if you look at all the stuff that I've given you over weeks and sometimes even months, you'll find that the stuff that I've produced that you've read is written in a very informal, friendly sort of way. It just writes and it flows better for people. So when you write, just imagine that you're actually talking to someone that you really care about. Imagine that you're talking about this business. You've just seen it for the very first time and you're excited about it and you want to get into it. You really want to do it. Your wife doesn't have the faintest idea what you're talking about, or your husband or your partner or your boyfriend or whatever doesn't have the faintest idea what it is. So you're going to tell them about it, but you're going to tell them about it enthusiastically, and you're going to tell them about the difference that it's going to make to your lives and their lives. That's the way you've got to put these messages across. Write it like that, your copy will lift. I said to you when I write it that I write the stuff into a word processor. I never post it immediately. I write it, but then once I write it, I then leave it, and I don't post the stuff until tomorrow. Anything I write, anything that you see me post tomorrow, I will have written today. And there's a reason for it. When you write it right now, you're thinking about it and you get your head into it and you get quite busy and you get quite involved in it. If you leave it for 24 hours and come back and reread it again, you'll reread it and you'll think that sounds crap. You'll start to tweak things and you'll start to make things feel better. You'll be better. You'll get better. Start again. You will get better at writing when you stop and pause and go back and look at it. It will make more sense as you're doing it. The stuff that you think makes sense as you're typing it out, the day after you'll look and you'll think that's not quite right. I need to change that. And those little tweaks will lift it tremendously. This is massively, massively important for me. If you're writing for social media, keep it short. I see people putting posts on Facebook and it's like you're writing, I can't say, it's like War and Peace that goes into a post. People don't read it. You know, I said last week that 80% of what you do is in your headline. Get your headline right and try and keep your post not much longer than that. Keep your post, if you can keep it visible without having to click the link that says read more, if you can keep it visible there, that's so much the better. If you can put your headline into a picture and then write a little bit of copy, but then put a call to action that says, contact me to find out more. Because the whole object of everything that you're doing is to get people to contact you. You're not doing this to get likes. Shares is great, and I'm really happy whenever I get shares because someone else is going to see it then. But what you're doing is to get people to contact you. So everything that you do should have a call to action on it, which says either click here for more, And if you guys have seen any of the posts that I put up on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, you'll see that I just have a short headline and then a link to my website so that people can then click through to my website and I can write the longer message to get the story across. And peppered across my website, absolutely everywhere, are different forms for people to contact me. There are email links, there are links to click on WhatsApp to get me. There are forms to register to get in touch for free coaching sessions. There's all sorts of things. It's all about making it easy for people to get back and touch me. So, that said, here's what I'd like to see you do now. Last week, I said about everybody writing a headline and doing something. I saw some people putting headlines up there. I didn't add this bit, and I really should have done. So what I think you should do is put some of this into action now. And Graham does this regularly. Graham will write his stuff, and then Graham will send it through to me and ask me to have a look at it and say, change it if I want. Write some copy, write some posts, be very clear about what you want people to do. Understand what the purpose is. When you get to the end of it, when your reader has got to the bottom of your writing, you want to understand what you want them to do, and you have to be able to tell them what you want them to do. So click here and tell me, whatever it may be. But once you've written something, before you post it out, get in touch with me. Let's have a look, let's tweak it, let's see what we can do and see if there's anything that we can do to just give it a polish and make it work any better. That's all I wanted to cover on copy. I can talk about copy. It's taken me 15 years it's taken me 20 years to know what I know about copy right now, and I'm still learning it every single day. So there's a ton of stuff, and I can't really teach you all of it right now, but what I can do is give you something that was the quickest and shortest thing. Next week, I want to talk about how to start conversations on social media, because a lot of people seem to struggle doing that. For the minute, I'm going to stop sharing this, and I'm going to put this so that we can see everyone that's on. I can see everybody's faces now, apart from Merrily, who's hiding. And, okay, any questions from anybody?
Yeah, great information, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything that's happened during the week that you've come across that's a stumbling point, or things haven't gone quite the way you want? Anything that we can do to help improve things? No. Well, fantastic. How good's that? Everybody had a perfect week?
No.
Right, guys, we need to. Here's one of the things that I find that is frustrating, and I've put a lot of thought into this right now. Network marketing companies in general, all around the world, all seem to want to. When people get recruited into network marketing, the first thing they seem to want to do is turn people into salespeople. And none of you want to be salespeople. And most people don't want to be salespeople. All my years as a salesman, I have my family and friends saying to me, I couldn't do what you do for a living, I'd hate that. And yet they then come into network marketing and try to become salespeople. And the thing is, all of your family and friends, nobody wants to be sold to. But everybody wants to buy things, but nobody wants to be sold to. Stop being salespeople. I don't want you to be a salesperson. Yeah. Share stories with you. Share stories with them. Tell people about your experiences and everything else, but don't try to sell. When you talk to people about the business, your only objective is just to tell them about it. It's not to sign people up. Because if your objective, when you go and talk to your friends, family, everything else, if your objective is to try to sign them up in the business, they'll stop inviting you around. They'll stop talking to you. I know, I've got loads of ex-friends. So people will just stop doing it. Instead of doing that, just share stories. And don't get hung up on what they say to you. If they don't like what you have to say, great, talk to somebody else. That's all it is. Our business is just about sharing a message. 𝗀𝗵𝗆 pay us for sharing the message. What we've got to get good at is how to actually share that message with as many people as possible. I had a conversation during the week with someone else on the team who's not on the call right now. And he said that he was struggling trying to reach out with people, and he said it was fear that was doing it. And that's what stops absolutely everybody. The problem that stops anyone reaching out to people is fear of what they're going to say. When I first became a salesman, way back when I was 21 years old, I was good at first. By my nature, I'm quite a shy person. When it came to like dating, I was rubbish at dating. I could never go out and chat a girl up. You know, when men, you know, you see this cool guy who's got all the lines and he'll go across, put an arm around a woman, call them, I can't do it. Just can't do it. Rubbish at it. When it came to selling something, I had opening lines that were all connected to my business and I could do that. But still, that fear got me. I hated that bit. And I'd been selling for probably about 6 months, and I'd been quite high up on the sales board. We always have everything as being a leaderboard in sales, and I've been quite high up on the leaderboard. And a couple of days went bad for me where people didn't say yes to me. And a couple of days stretched into a couple of weeks, and a couple of weeks seemed to stretch into a month, and all of a sudden it was just horrible and miserable. I hated going to work. And sales, when you're good at sales, sales is the best job in the world, and when you're bad at it, it's the worst job in the world. But one day, a guy pulled me to one side and he said, listen, I've been watching you, and I've noticed that you're sort of, your head's down right now, and when customers come in, you're just stepping back and you're letting other people get to them before you so that you don't have to take the rejection. I said, don't be stupid. Because nobody wants to face up to the reality that he's right. And he was absolutely right. And I said, no, I'm not. He said, you are. He said, okay, well, let's think about this. He said, how many people are we going to have come in through the door today? I said, I don't know. I'm psychic. I don't know how many people have gone through the door. He said, okay, how many cars will we sell today? I said, I don't know. He said, will we sell 10 cars today? No, I can't see us selling 10 cars today. He said, okay, will we sell 2 or 3? I said, well, we should do, yeah. He said, right, well, you have to be just one of those people speaking to one of the 2 or 3, so you've just got to get there first. So all you've got to do is just step in. It doesn't matter what they say. And I sort of dismissed what he said, and then I was the luckiest man in the world because I walked away and I tripped over a deal. I got talking to a customer who sort of stopped me and forced me to talk to them and forced me to sell them a car. And my attitude, I lifted a little bit because I'd done a deal. And within 3 days, I was right back at the top of the board again. I sold 9 cars in 3 days, and I was way back at the top again. And everyone said, what's happened to you? Well, I knew what happened. Chris had a word with me. Right now, if you guys have been out talking to people, and you've been talking to people about the business, and people have said, oh, it's one of those scams, isn't it? It's one of those pyramid things. Your head's down and you don't want to talk to people. The answer is not to sell to them. The answer is just tell some more people about it. So the conversation that I had with someone else on the team the other day is, right, here's what I'd like you to do. And you know, last week we had this conversation about the accountability group, and there were more little comments about it in the last couple of hours, weren't there? Someone's talking about the accountability group. Now they're talking about whether they're going to chuck people out for not doing it and stuff like that. That sounds like fun, doesn't it? Let's have a group and chuck people out of it. Here's the deal. We said talking about being accountable to ourselves. Yeah. Here's what I would suggest you do. On a daily basis, decide that you have to talk to 5 people. You've got to reach out and speak to 5 people about your business. Now, when I say speak to them about it, I don't mean pitch them for the business. I just mean reach out and make 5 new contacts today and every day. And the contacts can just be as simple as, hi, saw your profile on Facebook, noticed that you said you're into network marketing, so am I, how's things? And just start a conversation with them. Here's what will happen. Some of them are going to try and pitch you. Some people just won't respond to you. 1 or 2 will start talking to you. But if you speak to 5 today, and you speak to 5 every day, by the end of the week, you'll have 35 possibilities of getting someone to come and listen to a Zoom. By the end of a month, you'll actually have 140 contacts that you will have made. The chances of getting someone out of 140 contacts, you've just gone up massively. And if you do it for a year, then I haven't got my calculator. 140 is 1,668 or 1,680 people that you would have contacted in the space of the next 12 months. If you contact 1,680 people in the space of the next 12 months, and all you say is, hi, I didn't realize you're into network marketing, so am I, how's things? What's the chances that 3 of those will join your business? 1,680 people. You can have the worst close in the world. Yeah, you really don't have to be an expert at anything. Just make a point of actually making contacts. So here's the suggestion. First of all, 5 a day. So 5 a day times 7 equals 35. Yeah. At the end of the week, if you want to be accountable to yourself, not to me, and if anyone wants to sort of share things, I'm more than happy. But I'll probably start doing it on this, and I'll just ask, know your number, because something Simon Brooks always said about knowing your numbers. And he's got a point with it. If you should contact 35, if 30 contacting 35 people is 100% efficient, but let's say you miss out. Let's say you have a couple of days off, or you just don't do it. And let's say by the end of the week, you found that you've only actually contacted 17 of them. Yeah. 35 divided by 17, no, 17 divided by 35 is 48%. You've hit 48% of your target for the week. Let's not have your target to be, let's not target you on trying to recruit new distributors, trying to resell product or anything else. Just make new contacts. If you can look at it and you can say by the end of this week, I've actually done 48% of what I set out to do, because all I set out to do was say hello to 5 people a day, then you can decide whether that's acceptable or not. That's up to you. It's your business. Yeah? But what I'm trying to give you is a way to monitor it and a way to look at it. Set yourselves a contact of just reaching out to 5 people a day. It could be, Cello's one of the best in the world for like going out trying to talk to people and reach out to people. When Rick Robury first taught us about how to use cards and go out and present people cards, everyone else was sort of buying 500 cards and sort of giving 20 or 30 out, and then they've got a big stack of them to one side. Cello went through a couple of thousand going out giving them to people. Yeah. Just make the contacts. Go out and make the contacts. Once you've actually got into a conversation, if you get to the point where anyone turns around and says, I have a question about this, reach out to me. You know the deal. The deal isn't for you to explain it all to them. The deal is just for you to start off, make the first contact. If they show some kind of interest in the business, invite them onto a call, invite them onto a three-way, and we take them through the process. Talking to Simon Brooks yesterday, the new automated system that we've been working on for the last couple of months is coming really, really close. By Wednesday of this week, Simon should know whether we're ready for Kendrick, Brooksy, and myself to move into the final testing process of it. The developers are just about finishing. They're just checking for bugs and everything else. Once they've finished it, we're going to test this system, because ultimately when this system comes out, there's going to be a cost attached to it. The cost is a very small cost. Because I've been part of the negotiation, I know how much the system's going to cost, and even buttons. But if we're going to suggest anything that costs a single penny to you, I'm not going to suggest anything to anyone unless we know that it works. So Simon and myself are going to test it first, and it'll probably be Simon Kendrick and myself testing it first, because Simon Brooks is a Luddite when it comes to computers. So he'll get things wrong. I'll have to do it all for him. So we're going to test it. We're going to make sure it works. I hope that by the time the next KISS event comes up, I'm hoping that I'll be able to have new distributors at the events that have come through that system, and then turn around and release it to all of you guys, knowing that it works, and knowing that by that time I know that system inside out and I can help everybody with it. But until then, we need to stick with old-fashioned methods, and the old-fashioned methods just reaching out and talking to people. Don't turn into a salesman, like I said. When you reach out, just start conversations, say hello, ask people what's important to them, find out as much as you can about them. And the more you can find out about the people that you're talking to, the more chance of them joining the business anyway. Cello and I had a conversation a couple of weeks ago with a friend of his, and I went round to Cello's house. He introduced me to a friend of his called Terry. And I was there for probably 2 hours. And whilst we were talking, in conversation, it turned out that his ambition in life is a piece of land to build a house. When you have conversations with people, find out what their ambitions are. Because just knowing that Terry's ambition was to find a piece of land and build a house, and that's his dream, we had something that we could actually present all of our presentation of 𝗀𝗶𝗆 around the fact that we have something that could help Terry to actually get enough money to go and buy his piece of land and build his house. So he signed up the day before yesterday, just on the basis that we knew what his hot button was. So when you're having conversations with people, find out what's important to them, find out as much as you can about them. And just basically, when you reach out and make contacts with people, just make friends with them. None of it's rocket science. Don't do the heavy sell. I know Simon Brooks will turn around and go for the jugular and everything else. There's only one of Simon Brooks. The majority of us can't do that. I can do that, but the majority of people can't do that. Yeah, not many people are comfortable going for the jugular like Simon does. Don't be something you're not. Be yourselves. Yeah. But talk to more people. That way, we know for a fact we'll grow, because just as I ran through the numbers, 5 times 7, 5 people a day times 7 days times 52 weeks, 1,680 people. Somewhere along the line, you're going to get the people that you need. And if every single one of them goes through the same thing as well, they'll all get their people, and you know what happens with the numbers. Joe Martinez is now making 100 grand a month, 120 grand a month now, after 4 years, and he's only sponsored 7 people personally, but he teaches everybody to do this kind of stuff. So let's go ahead that way. I've been rabbiting on for 3/4 of an hour. Any questions? Anything anyone wants to say?
No, just for me personally, I think just get on with it and make some contacts, which I've struggled with. All
right. So like I said, don't understand what the point of the conversation is.
Yeah.
The point isn't to sell to them. Because if you think that conversation is all about selling to them, you'll just put off having the conversation.
Yeah.
If the point of the conversation is to make friends and eventually lead on to something else, fine. But let them come to you. Because apart from anything else, when they show interest in your business and when they ask you about it, It's 1,000 times more powerful when they ask you. You know, if you sell them, you're the salesman. If they ask you, you're the advisor. And everybody would rather be with an advisor than with a salesperson.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Roger.
All right, thanks, Roger.
All right, guys. I will speak to you all during the week. Any questions, you all know where I am.
Thanks.
See you soon, guys.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.